Hello guys, and welcome back to Commander the Great War with our Entente playthrough. In the last episode, we've managed to continue our efforts on the Western Front to great avail. We're seeing great progress. More and more enemies are actually retreating from the Western Front as we push them back. On the Eastern Front, Germans and Austrians both desperately scramble to the front to stop what was a unstoppable horde of Russians, and I think they've overcompensated from the Western Front while they rigorously try to not only keep Serbia encircled, but also push where we are weak, namely on this western part. The Ottomans are just a few turns from joining the war. We're preparing for that as best as I can without taking the pressure off of the main two enemies right now because they're stretched thin and I can feel it, and I have more units now. We have actually just finished 2 more French infantry, and I also got a commander, apparently. A admiral. Another admiral. Wow. I already had an admiral, but I guess we just got another one. And this one may be a little bit better than the last ones. Well, we're going to put him on a dreadnought, too. Let's put him on this one. Why not? Sure. We already had this admiral, but, you know, now we have another. I don't know what any of these admirals are. The fucking Germans actually got an admiral as well. Von Arnold. Wait, can I rename their units? Okay, no. And they put it on the dreadnought that is about to die, that I have surrounded, that is literally could not escape this under any circumstances. So we're gonna just finish him off, I guess. Let's start with the one with the admiral. I know this is gonna need to go repair. We dealt 2 damage. Pretty good. Let's go to this dreadnought as well. SOS, a whole battle fleet has been destroyed. Enemy dreadnought gone. That's amazing. So we wiped out 2 dreadnoughts here, and I think another ship as well. I forget. But that was pretty good. They have an armored cruiser that they've moved over here to Russia, well, to Finland more specifically, and they've been bombarding, just for 1 turn, Turku, I guess this is called, Turku. And it doesn't do any damage, really. If there's any points or whatever I get from this, I'm sure the bombarding gets in the way of that. I want to step out of my ports, which you actually get a buff when you're in. I confirmed it. I looked into some tooltips and information pages. But I know there's more Germans. I can see for certain there's a pre-dreadnought right here, and there's opportunities for there to be even more Germans over here. I'm sure they have more dreadnoughts. I'm sure they have something. So I'm afraid to step the Russians out. I guess one good way to figure that out is to do some recon, right? So let's take this British submarine and let's just be ballsy with it. Let's move it up here. I'm assuming everything over here is dead, that this is what came out in Russia. So I wish I had more submarines to check better. I can see there's pretty much nothing in this part of this passageway, which is good. This submarine would be most useful probably just attacking the armored cruiser because its anti-sub attack is probably dog shit. But I think this information might be a little more valuable to me right now. Alright, so I can see they have a light cruiser here. They have a pre-dreadnought here. If they have any more dreadnoughts, they're over to the west, and they are out of range, currently, of this situation up here. I don't want to get the Russian Navy destroyed, but I don't have any Brits in reach, and I don't want to go charging in here and accidentally run into a dreadnought that I then have to try to fight. So I'm not gonna do that. At the very least with the Russian ships, if we did want to retreat, it would be pretty easy. There's ports right next to us. So I think I will go ahead and risk trying to kill this armored cruiser. I think it could be worth it. I don't think we're necessarily going to lose this dreadnought or anything. I don't think they could summon that much might after we already wiped out 2 of their dreadnoughts. I'd love to see their national morale, because if disbanding a dreadnought loses you 30% national morale points, how low is their national morale after losing 2 dreadnoughts? I'd love to know. Let's go ahead and I'm going to start with the dreadnought, actually. I'm going to move you there and take a peek at what we're dealing with. Alright. Let's get the pre-dreadnought out here. And the armored cruiser out here. Oh, they have more! They have a merchant convoy. That's why they're out here. They're trying to protect a merchant convoy. That explains so much. It's almost like I need to get the British over here now. The problem would just be going through these ports. Well, that confirms that the Germans do get merchant convoys. Let's start with the Dreadnought, have that attack. We dealt 2 damage. I was hoping to deal more. It promised me 4, but that's not quite what we got. Let's go ahead with the pre-Dreadnought. That was about as advertised. We dealt 3, we took 1. Oh. Like, I wanna I wanna try to finish this off if we can. But the merchant convoy is probably more important. I don't know. I'm gonna go for the ship first. I feel like that makes more sense. Oh, look, we completely wiped it out. There's their armored cruiser they decided to use to defend this merchant convoy. That's really good to know. I feel like I'm almost obliged at this point to try to send my ships in here. This is really why I would love more submarines, because I don't know what they have in here. I can at least get a little closer is the thing, and try to feel them out. Maybe lure more of their ships out to me. If they run into this submarine, you know, then they've just fallen for a trap anyway. Now, if I'm going to do this, the main point would be to not get stuck in this channel. So we want to stay outside of it until we figure out what bait we're going to hook. So dreadnoughts need to stay kind of outside here, yeah. So let's move our main dreadnought over here. Let's move the other dreadnought just beside it. And I also have more ships on the way still, so we're going to move them generally in that direction. A light cruiser, a pre-dreadnought, a armored cruiser. There's another armored cruiser to the south still, taking forever to get up here. It's also October now of 1914, so we're definitely getting through it. I swear to God, it was just the beginning or the middle of September last turn, so unless I'm just reading shit wrong, I feel like we're definitely proceeding through time quicker as time goes by. I guess that's intentional. And now for these. So I definitely want to make sure these 2 dreadnoughts stay protected while they're here, which shouldn't actually take a whole lot of effort, really. I mean, what's that going to take? Okay, I put this light cruiser here. And they are still in range of this situation up here, should something call for it. I take this light cruiser and I put it here so that we can kind of protect our dreadnoughts. Now no submarines or anything can really come out here. If they do, they're going to run into the light cruiser or they're going to run into the submarine. So that's already fairly protective. I'm also, let's see, this is an armored cruiser. I want to send one more light cruiser up here at least. So I'm going to send this light cruiser up here and the armored cruiser right there. And this is a good little task force, I'd say. Now we have these 3 here to protect these 2 dreadnoughts, and I could always send these up next turn. It shouldn't really be much of an issue, and I believe that's the British Navy all accounted for. Now if we look down in Serbia, we cannot currently fire our arty this turn. I've already taken the half-dead garrison. I moved it up to Kraljevo, and I've repaired it a little bit. I'm just going to have it kind of sit on this town for now. The garrison that was on Kraljevo, I've moved here. It's about as far as I can get it, because I feel like I'm going to need to rush that in here as well, because they're really doing their best to try to focus us down and do some damage over here, and without more armies, I certainly can't fight back over here. I've gone and repaired this unit, so it's out of action for the turn. They've already repaired the garrison that I've half killed. They're pretty good about that. They have a lot of troops. I'm just barely keeping their troops at bay, realistically here. I would clearly like to keep doing damage, though, because they keep cycling valuable German troops to the Austrian front, where it's kind of silly to put anything. But without this unit being able to attack this turn, I'm just going to attack this Austrian garrison. We actually took 2 damage from that and dealt 2. It's okay. We dealt some damage. Maybe they'll run away. Maybe they'll repair. I don't know. I just kind of wanted to keep them on their toes over here. I'm not going to attack with anyone else because we don't have any good odds, except for our unit on Belgrade, but I don't like having him act alone because, you know, it's our unit on Belgrade. I don't want to fuck that up. So it turns out I fucked this up and the Canadian Expeditionary Force cannot get to the port from here. It looks like you need to use a port from the connected city. Wow. Well, shit. I wish I knew that. Oh well. So we'll switch him onto Portsmouth, and now we have to wait another turn. So we moved him here, made a mistake, waited a turn. Moved him to Portsmouth, now we have to wait a turn. Board him, wait a turn. Move him, wait a turn. Onboard him, wait a turn. It takes months to get one unit across this fucking channel. It's retarded. That's the biggest inconvenience about using the UK right now. It's just that putting anyone at sea is nigh impossible. At least I didn't pay for this unit, right? At least it was just given to me for free. This turn I would like to continue with the sequel of Operation Slip and Slide over here on the Western Front. Taking this infantry, we're going to move it forward to continue encompassing Metz and Strasbourg. Of course, I will take this infantry and do the same. Ah, and we found their fighters again. Ha, that's kind of funny. And I'm going to have to continue moving this line up for this to really be an effective slip and slide as I imagine it. Problem is, since we're moving so quickly, we're giving up some of our fortifications. We're going to slide this garrison up as well, just because nothing else can really move that fast. We're going to slide Joffrey up for the purposes of maintaining buffs, maybe? Well, actually, he can already reach all the way out here. If I move him here, he's not going to gain any more coverage over anyone, so maybe just having him stay still for now is good. Because I can take this new infantry and I can move it up right to where he was. So I might go ahead and do that, yeah. And that's probably better. Now we're really encompassing Strasbourg here. I'm going to take my arty. We still have enough bullets, so I'm going to fire again on Strasbourg. We dealt a damage this time, not just a point. That's good. Enemy fighters are out of range of my fighters now that they're repaired, so I'm going to go ahead and target the efficiency of the units in Strasbourg instead. It says -0, but we actually lost -1 on the plains. However, we did take down their efficiency even more, which is good. Now that I've put a full circle around them, I'm not too worried about them, say, taking this and cutting me off because I have supply running pretty much the whole way. And if they're going to take this, it means they're probably going to move something here from this pocket to do it. So rather than fill this in, I'm going to take this cavalry and I'm actually going to move it up here so we can get a good view of what's up here. Just some small garrisons digging in outside of cities. And hopefully we can finish off this garrison. Looks very doable. Well, we didn't kill him, but we hurt him. I'm going to move up with it just to get a better eye. We're on the other side of a river, and I think there are terrain benefits like that in this game. We get a better idea of what we're working with. They're almost closed in here. Like, next turn, I could close them in fully. Probably no problem. They'd have to rail some units back here if they want to hold on to this with me pulling off maneuvers like this. They could move south, potentially, and try to link up with these guys and send them reinforcements, but they're about to have to choose to sacrifice either the Schlieffen Plan, Belgium, or Alsace-Lorraine, essentially. They're going to have to choose to sacrifice one or the other. They don't have the troops to maintain both unless they abandon one of their fronts, which I've been keeping them on their toes pretty damn well, I think. So, on the topic of the French infantry that finished, I'm going to deploy one right here so they can't pull any maneuvers coming down this way, and I could just throw this up against Metz if I need to. The other one is going to instead go right here. So it's in the same area and can wrap around this way if need be to finish off Alsace-Lorraine, but it's also in a good position to push up into Belgium if I choose to do that, or if it becomes viable for a unit to do that. We're starting to get more favorable odds for Strasbourg in Alsace-Lorraine, and I'm not sure if Strasbourg and Metz can stay fortified by themselves or supplied. So I definitely want to work on eroding them so long as it doesn't cost me a fuck ton of casualties. And faster is still better than a lengthy siege because the Germans are producing troops too. I may be having some good luck over here, but they could produce more units in a matter of a couple turns, rush them west, and then all my progress over here kind of gets canceled just in the middle of it. So I have to be quick. So I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Joffrey here, honestly. And honestly, it's probably not going to go the way that we hope, but if we erode any of their efficiency, that would definitely be useful. So let's take Joffrey and attack Strasbourg. Yeah, we lost one, they lost none, but their efficiency is still going down. So let's try again with another infantry over here. I used Joffrey instead of this one because Joffrey is in a safer position. This guy is on the German front, pushing towards like the German homeland over here. I'd rather not have them be as injured if I can avoid it. And this unit doesn't get as good of odds, so this one comes next. We lost 2, that's a shame, but we killed 1 and we continue to hurt their efficiency. Now I'll use the southern one. We lost 1 and killed 1, so we now have them down to 6. Also going to take this infantry, we're going to attack their fighters, because why the fuck not? 7 damage, took 1, totally fucking worth it. I'm going to leave this infantry alone for right now. The units of Strasbourg are probably just going to repair. If they attack, they can't do too much damage to us currently. I mean, they could damage this one, but simultaneously, they can't do too much damage, so I don't think we really have to worry. As for Metz, I don't know. I think most of these guys are going to stay pretty defensive when they're on their cities because it's necessary. If Strassenburg wasn't here, this would be so much easier because these guys wouldn't be buffed up, but they are, and that is unfortunately the situation we are dealing with. Over here in the north, I'm going to repair this Belgian unit. I don't know why this shows it can be repaired. Okay, no, it doesn't. That's just the city. I can repair this one apparently, so might as well. Sure. I'm going to take the cavalry, I'm going to move it just north of Verdun. And I have an idea for kind of an encirclement strategy here. If they don't reinforce anything well enough next turn, I'm probably going to cut them off with this cavalry. Maybe send this cavalry as far north as I can get it. Probably not to Liège. I can send this armored corps right down the middle, armored car. And I can send the BEF in, potentially. This is just an idea. So I want to make sure we're prepared for that, to really disrupt their supply line and really make the AI scared. Because I can see that this AI panics while scared. It's a very short-term AI, but I guess that's what all AI are. Our fleet is pretty much together here, our French fleet, so I don't think we necessarily need to worry about anything over there. Still 2 turns until we get more British subs. Those will prove probably invaluable. No new units the next turn except for a singular Russian armored train, and that's certainly going to be useful to get. With the French, though, we are already falling behind on ammunition, so I'm going to go ahead and purchase more ammunition production, which takes pretty much all of our points for the rest of the turn, but we now have it up to 8, meaning we'll be able to shoot again next turn, but then we're going to start running into some problems keeping up the fire, so I need to get that ammunition production a little bit better expanded. Over on the Russian front, we have an interesting situation. So they've actually cycled the corps out that was in Königsberg and replaced it with an army, a fully, like, fresh army. And the army that was here originally that was injured is now down here. So that puts a little bit of a problem in our plans. I'll take my fighter plane over here and I'll use it on this corps that's gone and run away and try to successfully hurt its efficiency by the looks of it, since it's just gone yellow. With the artillery, man, I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I'm not safe to move it. I know that much. So I might as well shoot it. Let's go. We dealt some efficiency damage. It's better than nothing, right? Let's not forget we need to move some infantry down towards Königsberg to replace this stupid corps. We need infantry on the front. I still have no idea where the hell this one's going, so I'm just going to move them like this. I'm taking the infantry away from Warsaw and we're sending it up to this frontier for now. This corps will go to replace it in its fortifications. I think these 2 garrisons, not corps, god damn it, I'm so used to the lingo of these other games that aren't this one. I keep messing that up. And we can pretty much surround Danzig, like, right fucking now. So I'm gonna do that. We go up here, and we go here, and now we have this whole fucking pocket surrounded. Danzig to Königsberg is completely cut off. And so hopefully it should get fucked up pretty quickly by this, and now I have this cavalry to kind of use as I see fit. Down in the south part of Russia, we need to move over this way with our infantry. We're not like blockading, and we've run into another commander. So von Hotzendorf and von Hindenburg are both down here, both reinforcing this front. It's going to be nigh impossible to break through anything here. We can fight this small garrison, but wasting our time on a small garrison is not going to be too great. We might have to just play it defensive over here at this rate. Now, if I want to actually get through this, not only is starving them out a good option, but something else needs to accompany it. I can't just sit here and wait to see if their supplies start to dwindle because, you know, they have ports, they have cities. I need to kind of push through them if possible. Again, I'm on a timer because I expect they're making more troops as well. And once the Ottomans enter the war, they only gain more resources. So I'm going to take Udenic over here. And we're going to attack this garrison that we were working on before. Okay, good. Good. We suffered no casualties. And we got this garrison back down to 5, or down to 5 for the first time. Armored train can't really accomplish anything. The only place now I can really accomplish anything is maybe Danzig itself with this cavalry. Now here's the crazy part of this. They have nowhere to run. So this isn't a situation where I attack something and then it runs away and gets stronger. Sure, some of them can board transports if they choose to. Probably not very quickly, considering that that's a very time-consuming process. You have to be on a city to do it. So any amount of their units that I chip away, it's actually kind of a big deal because they can't run. If they run, they leave for good. And I can also potentially even sink them with a submarine. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to attack. It's kind of risky. The cavalry sitting on Danzig. Okay, we took 3, we dealt 2. That's exactly what I expected to happen, so I'm not upset or surprised about that necessarily. In order to optimize strength, because they've already moved, I'm just going to repair these cavalry. I'm going to repair this armored thing. I'm going to move this cavalry here as kind of a screening from these infantry, or that's what I'm attempting this to be. I believe that's just about everything worth doing for this turn though, so I'm going to go ahead and hit end turn. We don't really have any money to spend, any points. Okay, so they moved a new ship out of port from Danzig to go try to engage us in the north since we stepped out to protect our convoy. Man, they're willing to throw away their navy for one convoy. That's pretty crazy. Looks like the AI is being a little picky on the western front. Oh, okay, they're assaulting Antwerp. Again, they're moving forward, or trying to, which is going to leave their flank even more exposed. They're doubling down on assaulting Antwerp. They're moving some more troops forward, some small garrisons and some cavalry to try to secure their rear with the Schlieffen plan. They're already moving some more units out of the Serbian front for some reason. What was there? An Austrian army? I don't know. Their artillery's non-stop, man. Non-stop. They just pushed us out of here. That's no good. They are moving their troops around here. They're even moving forward into undefended locations. Like, unfortified. They're going big offensives right now. They're putting a lot of effort into pushing. Like, they're trying to stay as hyper-aggressive as possible, because that's how the AI works, right? And we got a Russian naval commander, a successful fighter pilot. Okay. So, what are all these things? This is a pilot. It can only be deployed to one fucking place then. I have one plane. And who's this guy? A Russian naval captain. Alright, well, you're going on the Dreadnought, man. What does he do? I didn't even look at his stats, really. I assume there is no such thing as a bad naval unit in this game. At least that's what I hope. Man, they have naval commanders everywhere. Look at this. They have one on this pre-dreadnought. They have one on this light cruiser that's moving up. This is insane. They're putting all their effort that they possibly can into protecting this one singular convoy. So the good news is this defense over at Metz and Strasbourg seems to be like falling apart. They're not really keeping up very well over here, which I think is really good. They've actually switched the unit that was at Strasbourg to Metz by the looks of it since he was injured. They wanted to put a better unit there because they could tell that that's what I was focusing on, was their weakened unit. And I mean, that's pretty fucking smart of them to do, but they're all low on supply now. Now my battle chances have gotten much better. That explains why they do so well against this and why they are so obsessed with cutting off supply in this area. Gone ahead and pretty much repaired everything that's in Serbia that needs to be repaired. The garrison at Kraljevo is, well, repaired, but its efficiency is dog shit. They keep piling on with their attacks, and my efficiency ratings can't keep up very easily. When do we get this fucking Serbian infantry? 2 more turns. So somehow we have to hold this for 2 more turns with them being hyper fucking aggressive. It's time to do a little bit more investigating into Germany. So I'm going to move this submarine over this way. We can actually see a Danish light cruiser. Yeah, I kind of forgot this wasn't one of their ports, huh? Well, I mean, now we know this thing's here. That's pretty good. As much as I'd love to send this submarine back northeast to help in this fighting, there's a little bit more information that I need. And there we have it. I think it's safe to say that the German Navy is crippled. I can only find a light cruiser over here. Everything else is gone. everything else is destroyed or it's up here fighting the Russians. So really all I can see are 2 light cruisers and this 1 pre-dreadnought. I think we've sunk the rest of their navy already. I don't know how things are going in here. I've been pretty cautious about it the whole time, but maybe I should actually take a peek in here. Let's get some information. Okay, so Austria has some... It's safe to say they have another naval force right here. They have 3 naval forces in here, for sure, and they're not leaving port. And you can't really attack a ship in port. We're gonna lose so much if we try to do that. I don't know if the Russians can hold on to all this. I mean, they might be able to. I was gonna send the Brits to assist them, though. Well, maybe if I don't send the surface fleet, British submarines would be perfect for patrolling in here. I mean, they certainly would be. They would evade pretty much all the cover, any air cover that's there. The downside right now is that there are light cruisers, and we do need to get rid of them. Let's start on the Russian front, because the Russians have the biggest problem up here right now. And we're going to want to deal with that. There may still be a submarine up here, too. Let's not forget that. I'm going to move the Dreadnought forward. And we have a pretty good battle here. This guy may be buffed up, but we're buffed up, too. So let's open fire with our Dreadnought, and we dealt 2 damage. I would have preferred to deal more damage than that. This is how the Russian front's going to go. We have a good peek at that. So let's go ahead and deal with some other fronts for right now. Such as, let's move this Dreadnought back to London. Let's move this Dreadnought up to Edinburgh for now. And they're going to repair when they get the chance. The rest of these ships need to be moving northeast so we can figure out what the hell we're going to do with them. An armored cruiser, a pre-Dreadnought, a light cruiser, and was there any more heading here? Oh, there was another armored cruiser. Let's get that moving up here. Everything else is pretty much free, although we want to make sure that there are some light cruisers that remain behind with these Dreadnoughts as a bit of an escort, like a submarine escort. So let's move one down there, and let's move one down here. I'm going to go assert some Royal Navy dominance up in this area, because if I can just wipe out the German Navy, that would be great. And realistically, there's not a lot of other things I need my surface Navy for right now. And it's kind of split up anyway. There's 2 Dreadnoughts here, there's 2 Dreadnoughts not, so it's not like I'm focusing too much in one direction. So let's move my Dreadnoughts over here. The armored cruiser will go here. And we're going to go like this and this with the cruisers. And now we have a nice little surface fleet just blockading this area. Though I do believe they can come through here. It would make a lot of sense. But that's why I still have troops over here. I'm going to leave this pre-Dreadnought over with this little fleet. We have a light cruiser, an armored cruiser, 2 pre-Dreadnoughts, and another light cruiser. It's a pretty versatile force, especially with another armored cruiser coming. It would be made better with Dreadnoughts, but it's fine enough for now. Actually, let's not forget that I still have 2 more light cruisers back here with Dreadnoughts that will be rearmed soon. I'm going to take this light cruiser. I'm actually going to put it up the rear end of this force in case any submarines try to come around here, since my Dreadnoughts are kind of open in the back. There's only 1 to 3 more turns before the Ottomans enter the war, so I'm going to reposition this French Navy a little bit. I'm fine with the submarines being where they are, but the rest of it, I'm probably going to want to move a little bit. So I think I'm going to do just that. I want to kind of position them in the center over here so we exert some control over the Mediterranean. So I'm going to move my Dreadnought down here. And let's see, we have 2 pre-Dreadnoughts and we have 3 armored cruisers. Okay. So I'm going to move this pre-Dreadnought here. This pre-Dreadnought will move here. So now we have a kind of line of our dreads and pre-dreads. And we're going to move the armored cruisers up in front. 1 on each side, and then 1 kind of in the middle. I'll put it a little bit forward. It's kind of like a forward scout. We have a neat little formation. Effective? You know, maybe not. But neat? Yeah, sure. I don't think the Ottomans are going to be too threatening. Hell, I may just next turn decide to try to close this shit off, if I can, with these ships. I may need to send some submarines over there as well. I wanted to take a peek. I know I can block this whole area off and keep the Austrians in with 1 submarine, so I might end up doing that as well. And I'm already blocking the exit over here with 1 submarine. So I think that's pretty good. So we've taken care of Serbia. We've taken care of pretty much all the navies, if not all of the navies. With the exception of, you know, moving the CEF out to sea here, which I'll do just like that. And we just mainly have the land forces to work on now of Russia and France. And we have a nice full episode here, so we'll finish this turn off in the next one. For now, though, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.